Not a YouTuber, just like making videos. Seems like I'm gonna have to go back in on Tommy Sotomayor. This is a response video. I guess, you know, this goes back into my video about one man's opinion. About how people get mad for having an opinion about somebody else's opinion who has an opinion about somebody else's opinion. Like his, when LeBron James, I guess wrote a letter to his, had an open letter to his father, or said something that he thanks his father for not being in his life, and then Tommy did a response to it, and what it seemed like Tommy took what he says way out of context, and so way out. You know, I didn't you know what I'm saying, I didn't get what Tommy was getting. You know, and the thing is with me, I've grown up with a father. You know, when you really think about my videos and the problem I have with a lot of these guys' bull jargon, I understand that technically they're not talking about me. I did grow up in a solid household and so forth, but still, it's just like if I smell bullshit, you know, it just sometimes it's hard for me not to react when it's just a whole lot of malarkey. But you know, I didn't really I felt that from LeBron's letter, it seemed like he had a whole lot of pain, maybe some sort of hurt, disappointment, and a lot of it seems like he's being sarcastic and so forth. Now I know that he says, like, you know, like he has to, you know what I'm saying, things are not being in my life, that means me had to work harder and excel. Now come on now, do you actually think that he did not want a father in his life, that he's really thinking like, oh, thanks Dad for not being in my life, so you know, come on now. And I can't believe, you know, Tommy he still got a bunch of thumbs up. I'm like, that's the thing. I'm like, you know, so sometimes in my videos I get more thumbs up than thumbs down, but I kind of like it when I get thumbs down, because that means the people that are watching my videos are just are thinking constructively. They're saying, well, I don't agree with this video, I'm just going to thumb it down. You know, that's, you know, some of my videos I'm treading even there. But you know, when Tommy gets all these, you know what I'm saying, an insane amount of thumbs up, as in contrast to his thumbs down, especially when he contradicts himself and what he says really doesn't make any sense, and he'll take what somebody else does and completely warp it and change the context to benefit his own agenda. I don't understand why most people don't why are people so obligated to, I don't know, support him like that. But what I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I didn't get that from LeBron James. It reminds me of the book The Debt, written by Randall Robinson. And in this book, he mentioned something about a slave, what a slave wrote to his master. You know, I guess when slavery was free, this master wanted this slave to work for him, and this master, you know, this former master was willing to pay this slave. You know what I'm saying? Well, still come back and work for me, I'll pay you this time. So the slave, the ex-slave, well, now a free man, writes a letter back to his master and kind of thanks his master, but he's sarcastic. He kind of thanks him. He says, I want to thank you for all the years of hostility, all the times where I was forced to do work against my will, and you know, all this, just, you know, so you see, there was a whole lot of sarcasm there. And then he said that I will come back to work for you, but you have to pay me for all the years I worked for you before. And I think, you know what I'm saying, you know, today's inflation, I think it all rounded up to about, I don't know, maybe $11,000 he owed him. But bear in mind, this is during the 1800s, 1860s, so $11,000 would be like fucking, I don't know, $1 million now and so forth. But that's what he was saying. Now was this dude who, the ex-slave who wrote a letter back to a slave master, did he say, was it like, was he feeling like, oh, he was justifying slavery? Was he being a house nigger? No, you know what I'm saying? He was being kind of like polite and elegant as he can, but actually being witty. And I felt that in and LeBron James' letter, there was a whole lot of wit there. You know, I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm like, I didn't get that, but you know, Tommy Sotomayor has his agenda, you know what I'm saying, his Fatherless America, and he may feel that LeBron is part of the propaganda to tell people, hey, you don't need a father in your life, you know what I'm saying, look how I turned out, you know what I'm saying, and I didn't have a father, no. And you know, Tommy goes into genetics, saying, well, you got your genetics from the father. I'm pretty sure LeBron knows this. I know that he got his genetics from his father, you know what I'm saying, a lot of his looks, a lot of his height, and so forth. That wasn't the point. LeBron never. I think LeBron is a sensible man in saying, like, yeah, I'm sure his mother wasn't the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure LeBron knows his mom did not have an immaculate conception and so forth. You know. But as I said, this is part of Tommy's own propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Using a celebrity name and so forth. Like everybody says, oh, we use Tommy's name and so forth. But he constantly used celebrity names to push his agenda, to push his movie and so forth. And the thing is, like, it's like what Mike Mills said. I don't know what LeBron's life. Maybe his father had a chance to be in his life. You know what I'm saying? And chose not to be. You know, and I'm like, we all know about his LeBron's mother, but that wasn't the point. You know what I'm saying? Even if, you know, the father's mother and, you know what I'm saying, the baby's mother and father can't get along to each other, can't even sit next to each other in the same room or whatever, it doesn't mean that the man should be exempt from his father's life. As Tommy's theory is like, well, these black females messed up. You know what I'm saying? They run around and get pregnant by dudes who ain't shit and so forth. So hence, inadvertently, Tommy literally saying that LeBron's father ain't shit, because he'll turn around and say a black female they should pick a better dick. So hence he's telling, you know what I'm saying, LeBron's mother, you know what I'm saying, she should pick a better dick, that these females choose dudes who ain't shit and so forth. So hence, why should LeBron even give this man props? But going by Tommy's own theory that, you know what I'm saying, LeBron's father wouldn't be shit because the way his mother just has, these black women have horrible choices, or they let everybody just pump and dump in them. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, it has me really flustered when I really think about it. But he also goes into, you know, talks about, I detect, you know what I mean, an ounce of haterade in Tommy's voice when he says something about how LeBron James, you're a slave, you know what I'm saying, trying to insult the man because of his basketball career. And if you follow my videos, you know what I'm saying, I've made about 3 videos, and I can't stand it when dudes turn around and use that whole slave analogy and so forth at their convenience, you know what I'm saying, comparing every little thing to slavery. And I've made about 3 videos on it, you know, as to how I detest it. How can you compare something, you know what I'm saying, how can you compare this to slavery knowing how hard slaves was? And then to say that, oh, LeBron James, oh, he's on a plantation, he's still a slave, that, you know, he wasn't smart enough to be a professor or whatever. Well, Tommy himself is not a professor. You know, so it's like what Nick Nolte said in the movie Blue Chips. I'm like, 60,000 people ain't going to show up to see a dude do a chemistry experiment and so forth. I'm like, they like, you know, basketball. We like our athletes. Me, myself, I'm not even really into professional sports. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm really defending LeBron because I'm into basketball like that. No. I like, you know what I'm saying, I played basketball a little bit as a kid, you know, on the playground. And my nephew, he plays basketball and run track. I support him on that. But there's just too much politics. You know what I mean? Too many aristocrats run that whole professional sports arena. That's why I'm not into it, because of the politics of it. You know what I'm saying? You may root for a team, and then mid-season, all the players in that team you love is already gone, and other franchises. It's more of a cutthroat business than it was since the days of Dr. J versus Larry Bird, if you know what I mean. But I just don't like that. And if LeBron is a slave, first of all, I thought slaves, didn't have the choice. LeBron made a choice to leave Cleveland and go to Miami. I didn't know slaves had a choice, and so forth. But you know what I'm saying, and if he's a slave, then what about white people? So white people are got to be slaves too. If you say that black people are trapped in modern day slavery in a plantation, then white people are too. And as I've stated before, then us black people can't talk about how hard slavery was when we keep using slavery even though we're free and so forth. And hence white people are also slaves, so therefore we can't throw it in white people's face or talk about reparations, because the slavery never went. Black people and white people are slaves and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I think about the movie The Bachelor and the Bobby Socker. Yeah, you know, when there was nothing but white NBA basketball players, and you know, the sport was dreadful. You know what I'm saying? Watching old people play pinochle is more interesting than watching a court full of white people play basketball. But still, you know what I'm saying? And I understand that there was a book called The $40 Million Slaves. They're talking about basketball players or slaves, but I think that some of these black dudes are just going way overboard and so forth. Now, do I agree that workers are being exploited? Yeah, I believe that even professional athletes are being exploited. Artists are being exploited. You know, actors in Hollywood may be being exploited, and definitely the working man and so forth is being exploited. But when you talk about slavery this and slavery this, if I'm a business owner and I want to hire people, you know, and my own employees could be talking behind my back saying, hey, that's a slave driver right there. He's a slave master. Get home from work and talk about, you know, I'm still trapped in slavery. So I don't want people to feel that way about me if I own my own business, have people work for me and say that I'm some sort of plantation owner and so forth. But hence, if Tommy has a son, and if his son wanted to play in the NBA, well, what would he tell his son? Would he say, don't sign that $20 million contract, son, it's slavery. You know, you're better off working at Foot Locker and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Don't sign that $20 million contract, son. So going by his own words and so forth. I'm like, so, but it's, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, I can understand. As I said before, I'm not a fan of professional sports and so forth, so it's not like I'm defending it, but still, I'm like, his spiel was, but it was just denigrate. And I read the comment on the comment section, people talking about, I can't wait till your movie comes out and so forth. And I've never talked about this movie, this documentary and so forth. And now let me talk about it now since I'm on the subject and so forth. I'm like, I think about all the documentaries trying to expose government corruption, trying to expose the medical industry. I think about Fahrenheit 9/11, and even though it may have some sort of impact and may open people's eyes, what happened? George Bush still got elected, you know what I'm saying, for president in 2004, even though Fahrenheit 9/11 was a very intricate, very compelling documentary and so forth. And Michael Moore has came out with I don't know a lot of Michael Moore's documentary, but does it really change events and so forth? I'm like, no, it may open people's eyes. And with, you know what I'm saying, a fatherless America, I think, and I'm not knocking them, I'm like, it's great, you know what I'm saying, the black family should be united and so forth. But I don't understand what Tommy's message is when he's constantly bewildering and berating the black woman, and then he's trying to help the, you know what I'm saying, help the black family. I'm like, he literally goes, has a spiel about how white women are so great that he's with a white woman and so forth, and I don't know how this is going to help the black family. You know what I'm saying? That's like he has a message where he wants the black man in the home, but he also says the black man to leave the black female and get you a white woman and so forth. So his method is so contrived. I'm like, it's all over the place. And and yeah, and also another thing, it seems like Tommy was trying to shame LeBron. Like, his words is going to come back on LeBron because LeBron's a father, and what if his kids grow up and so forth and say they didn't need a father or whatever. I'm like, the fact that LeBron is a father, I'm pretty sure LeBron don't want to be like his his biological father and so forth. You know, we all seen that Galaxy commercial with Bron's family in it and so forth, all his kids. I'm like, I've never seen Tommy with all his kids. That's me just being honest. I'm like, so I'm pretty sure and LeBron married to a black woman. I'm assuming that's all his kids by this same woman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he has a mistress. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about that. You know what I mean? Because I don't. But you know what I'm saying? It's I'm pretty sure that, you know what I'm saying, if LeBron actually felt that, oh, you know, a person doesn't need a dad and so forth, I'm pretty sure LeBron will be out there, you know, just busting nuts and so forth. I'm pretty sure he wants to give his kids a solid foundation and a bright future. And I would reckon that LeBron's one of those NBA players that's made. I'm like, he's not going to end up broke like Scottie Pippen and so forth. But he's gonna. I'm like, I think he's a Hall of Famer. You know, and so forth. I think, you know, with his endorsements deals and the fact that he kind of stays out of trouble and so forth, and he seems like I have a hard work ethic. He's gonna have and he doesn't. He's not plagued with like with a bunch of injuries like Penny Hardaway. That he was I know what you're saying. For somebody who doesn't watch basketball, I seem to have, you know what I'm saying, some sort of knowledge. But I think his, you know what I'm saying, his position, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, he's a Hall of Famer. But also look at Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Arguably, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jordan is considered the best NBA player of all time. Some people are even saying Kobe is. But Kobe is a close second. Now, both of these guys had fathers in their life. Grew up with, you know what I'm saying, strong male role models. So I don't think it's the NBA or whatever, or people is going to get this notion that, oh, you don't need a father. I don't think people are going to get that from LeBron and be like, oh, you know, we don't need a father. We can do it without it. The female can do it without it. No, you know what I'm saying? That's Tommy Sotomayor's own hyperboil. But thanks for watching. It's Sally Forth.